We are Steven and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about how to improve your acquisition confidence. Jill, what's acquisition confidence?
Acquisition confidence is going into a buying situation and feeling good about it. That's basically it. And I've got some steps here that I'm going to share in a few minutes.
I would even take it 10 times further than that. When you get that property back, when you're staring at a return purchase agreement or somebody's on the phone saying, you know what, I got your offer and I do want to sell. And you look it up and there's that little tiny moment where you pull it up on NeighborScoop or wherever you're looking at the property and you can't believe that you're about to do this transaction. It's that good. And you execute on that logical due diligence period, but then you execute on it and you own it. That's acquisition confidence.
You know, it's so funny. It's a good thing there's two of us. It's kind of cool because we look at it totally different. You're looking at the acquisition. I'm looking at the person. So I'm excited to talk about it more.
I can't wait to talk about that. Here's a funny story about that. Every single acquisition person, without exception, that I have ever hired who's a female, categorizes the deals that they do by the last name of the seller.
Oh, I don't do that.
The Dawson deal, the Smith deal.
That's hilarious.
Every male acquisition person, including myself, categorizes it by APN.
That's funny.
I could care less about the seller. I could absolutely care less. The less I know, the better.
No, it's funny. I go about the property.
I only care about the dirt.
Yeah. That's how I am about the property. Which one is that? That's the 40 acres in such county. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Guess who does more deals than Jill or me? Times 80, Jill. Because this is a people business.
Yeah.
There's a huge real estate component to it, obviously. But
so you're saying I'm in the middle?
no, I think you're correct.
Oh.
If you have to be one or the other, you're talking to a person who's going to sell their property for way under value, what it's worth. And there's a lot of finesse and hand-holding and a lot of stuff involved. You have to meet that person from where they're coming. You know, in my early days, I was like, it should be the last time we're going to talk. You gave me the APN, we have a signed purchase agreement, and the escrow was thanks very much.
I know.
That in reality is silly. And I got away with it back then because nobody else ever sent a letter to them ever.
Right.
And a bunch of other reasons. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Cody wrote, "Hi, Sean." Oh, this is a response.
So there's a string. I should have prefaced this. I'm sorry. You kind of got blindsided there. NeighborScoop, Land Investors is, people post a question and then there's responses. And so this is Cody's response to Sean.
Okay. And I'm sure the response is going to tell us what the question was.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So here we go. Cody wrote, "Hi, Sean. I was able to view a little bit of your response from the members only forum from the activity on the homepage, but I'm not currently a pro member. So that means I can't dig in and see the whole thing.
Right.
I was looking to potentially sign up with either ParcelFact or NeighborScoop, but it seems like you're saying ParcelFact doesn't work anymore. I've been debating which one to use and between the two, and I don't think I'm too sure about the differences. NeighborScoop seems to do exactly what ParcelFact does, but has more features. Is this correct, or am I missing something?"
So, Jill, this is a very, very popular topic right now on the internet.
Right.
When it comes to our stuff.
Right.
So I wanted to just, because the viewing audience that we have is much bigger here than anywhere else. What's the difference between NeighborScoop and ParcelFact? Both of which we own, by the way.
Right. NeighborScoop is the second generation of ParcelFact, and it has added phone numbers. It has added additional maps. Yep, the property owners' phone numbers are in there. Additional maps. It's got FEMA floodplain overlay. It's got it'll drop the whole property. I think they both do this. I can't remember if they do, but I don't think it does. Yeah, no, NeighborScoop, you can click on a Google Earth button basically, and it'll drop the whole outline that you're looking at on ParcelFact into Google Earth Pro. Love it. It also, you can draw, this is one of my favorite features too. Say you're sending out a neighbor letter, or maybe you're a real estate agent and you're canvassing a certain area and you want only this subdivision or only this section of area to have download that ownership data and get their phone numbers. You can draw a polygon or a square. There's all kinds. You can do all kinds of different shapes, and then it'll download just that ownership data for you, and it's amazing. It's not just ownership; it's all the attributes on the property that are there in NeighborScoop, like maybe mortgage information, what they paid for it, what kind of deed they did, when they did the deed. Is there loan information's in there, square footage if there's a structure, legal description, it's zoning, it's a couple hundred lines.
I can't imagine doing this without one of these. Right. Do you need both?
No, you don't. You just need NeighborScoop.
That's right. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. That is the only tool that I know of where you can put state county APN in seconds, be looking at the property and make a decision, which is actually a good parlay into this topic.
I love it. And I click around, like, what did they pay for it? Got it. What did the neighbors pay? Got it. How long will the neighbors own things? All these things, this is how I do due diligence. At least and I'm going to work on this as a training thing I've got coming up, is doing due diligence. This is like, there's 2 levels of due diligence for us. There's the first level and then the second level. The first level is you're going to quickly look at everything and make a decision if you're going to take it to the next level, because you might see some fatal flaws right there, such as no legal or physical access, or maybe it's the side of a cliff, or maybe the person that you're talking to is the son it's been passed down 3 times, and you can kind of see, shoot, it's still in dad's name. There's some problems
underwater.
Here. Or underwater, all kinds of things.
It's a full-blown less than 30 seconds level 1 due diligence tool. Mm-hmm. I don't
much time
for what we do. Look, I created this.
Yep.
I
can't imagine how we did it before.
And
I remember.
There's nothing else like it on the internet that I know of.
Right.
Today's topic: how to improve your acquisition confidence. This is why you're listening. We were talking on the webinar last week. There's this moment where you look up a property that came in. This whole this business of sending out mail and having these deals come back it resolves with finality the age-old concept of deal flow. You have to have deal flow. If you're a stock market investor, or there's no such thing as deal flow for you. You turn your computer on and there's just a bajillion options of stock to buy. In real estate, that's just not the case. And deal flow was historically resolved in many, many cases in commercial real estate right now. It was resolved through brokers. You've got 10 brokers. You have 2 favorite brokers out of 10. They call you with a deal. They say, hey, Steve, I this deal came in. I know about it. It's not listed. And I thought of you because it's just like the last one we did together. And so their whole, as an investor, your whole career is tied to these people and what they bring you. It's a super, super bad idea. At this day and age, there's no brokers that we deal with ever on an acquisition like that ever. And if they did, I would really say, all right, what's up your sleeve? So this business of sending mail resolves that. It's going to do nothing for you. It will be a useless tool if all this stuff is coming back and you don't have any acquisition confidence. And this topic comes up for Jill and I all the time, and it has since day one, since we started Land Academy. Mm-hmm. And the silver bullet here, the only way to get acquisition confidence on the long term is by doing deals. Experience.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But there's a bajillion new people doing this, whether you're buying houses or land or anything else. So how else would you get acquisition confidence?
Well, here's what's so funny. So I looked at this title and I hear you. You're talking... you see a sentence and you can, depending on the word that you emphasize in the sentence, it changes the whole sentence. So that's what just happened to me with this exact topic. You're talking acquisition confidence. You emphasize the acquisition. I read acquisition confidence. I emphasized the confidence part. So that just seems really interesting how we did. So, but to answer your question, and then I want to share, because in case anyone read the sentence like I did, I'm going to give you the other part of this. But to gain acquisition confidence, you're right, you have to dive in and do a deal. If you're not sure about it, bounce it off somebody else. That's what the beauty of our group is. That's the beauty of our weekly member calls. We do that all the time. We have a little segment that takes up, that's throughout the whole call. Would you do this deal? And that really, I know, helps people build up acquisition confidence. And I'm sure that a very large percentage of the time, they know the answer. You know the answer going into it. You're just double checking yourself. I think the slope is bad. Let's see what Steve and Jill say. Yep, I was right. Thank you very much. You confirmed it. So that's how you can build confidence. The other way is when you get to know an area pretty quickly. Once you do 1 or 2 deals in that area, you quickly are going to figure out this is what the buyers want. I know how fast it's going to go. That for me is a great way to build up the confidence. The other part I want to share. Do you mind if I keep going?
No, I love this.
Okay. So the other part I was going to say is just
I'm learning stuff.
Acquisition confidence and just confidence in general. So I'm really kind of talking to people that are new to this because it comes up often. They're afraid to answer the phone. I'm afraid to sound like I don't know what I'm doing. These sellers are going to call me. What if I stumble and I forget to ask something? So I have 3 things for this. Number 1, know your stuff. Be prepared. When you send out that mailer, you did a lot of research on the area. Trust yourself. You know what's going on around there, or you wouldn't have sent those offers to those people. You know really what they're valued at. Again, because you couldn't have priced them that way. So, and have a checklist when the calls come in. I have a checklist. It's on that site, by the way, on landinvestors.com. On the left-hand side, you can print out my inbound seller call sheet and just have it on your desk. It's for everybody. It's free. Use it. And that's a really easy way for you to make sure you asked all the right questions when the seller calls. And it also helps you sound like you know what you're doing because you know what questions to ask. You're not sitting there going, what am I missing? What am I missing? You're going to ask their name, the city, the state, the APN, where they are in the tax situation, who owns the property, what's going on, why are you selling? Does my price work for you? Those kind of things. Is there anything that I need to know about it? Can you get to it? Was there a fire? I don't know. You ask all those questions, you'll get all that information. So all of that ties into being prepared. It's like, remember, have you ever gone into it? Well, this is a good one because this ties into yesterday. You and I are so different with school, it's not even funny.
What do you mean school?
The way you described your experience, how you got through college, of not cracking a book, trying to make it a mission. I'm sure you did crack some books, but
on certain classes I did. Right.
But some you're like, yeah, I'm just going to show up for a lecture or 2. I got the gist of this. I can take the test. We are so different. I was the geek. I'm serious. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about, I don't remember who it was, and Freaks and Geeks, that show way back in the day. Remember Freaks and Geeks?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, some of you know Freaks and Geeks. Well, anyway, they were describing themselves as geeks and geeks, and that's kind of me. I was totally a geek. So
Past tense.
Can't stand, thank you. But I still do this to this day. If I'm going in with a test or doing a test, I know that information forward, backwards, inside out. I still use flashcards. I haven't, but if I needed to. Well, I've been thinking about, I'll tell you right now, I have a friend who's, we've been talking about, he's thinking about getting back into flying, and he flies helicopters, and he was thinking about going back to helicopter instructing. I said, pick me, I'll be your first student. And so I'm already thinking about, do they have a different ground school? What do I need to learn? Kind of thing. And crack out the flashcards, because I'll do that. I'm that kind of person. I will know it all. So anyway, that's way too much information.
No, it's
about
not.
the
I think this is really, really helpful.
Okay.
Here's why. What I learned recently. Like it or not, we have developed characters. We've developed these characters who are successful at buying and selling real estate. So I think for a lot of people, maybe not so much super experienced people, it's extremely helpful, especially because there's 2 of us, and we're in a relationship together, a social relationship. Developing your character is really, really important.
It's true.
And I have people, how many times have you heard, I'm the Jill in the thing?
Oh, that's true.
I'm the Jack in the thing.
That's true.
So no, I don't think that's too much information at all, Jill.
Okay,
Plus, it's fun for me to listen to.
Thanks. all of that was number one, by the way. I promise the other two are not that long. So know your stuff. I go into every test, every situation, every market with confidence because I know it. Number two, practice. It may sound silly, but it's not. Have someone call you, pretend someone's going to call you, and you're going to be talking to them as if they're a seller. And then number three, just go for it. You are the investor. That's how these sellers see you. They don't know this is your first deal. I personally I wouldn't even say that. I would go in with confidence, answer the phone. Hey, Jill's Land Company. Great, you got my offer? Fantastic. Hey, let me, just 1 second, I got a couple questions I want to ask you as I grab my sheet, and we just dive right in. You quickly are going to have, 50 phone calls under your belt. They're only calling one. They only have one property and they may have only got your offer. So this is all new to them. They're not comparing you to anyone else too. So that, for me, helps build my confidence that I am the pro here. And they're looking to you like you are the pro.
Can you imagine walking up to a girl and saying, "Hi, I was standing over there, and you're feeling the same, and you seem like so." Yeah.
What was that?
Or
like a mumbly thing?
Walking up to a girl and saying, "Hey, excuse me, I don't ever do this. You're the prettiest girl in the room, and I have a couple of questions for you. Which one do you want?"
We know. You're right. That's how you got me.
That's exactly what goes on with the seller. Exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If you approach a seller that way, they're going to
true.
hang up the phone, or a buyer for that matter.
Yeah.
So you have to have confidence. You have to have confidence in everything. And this isn't like some judgment thing or something that I made up. It goes back to caveman times.
It's true.
In the women example, women want somebody a guy who's confident, who's going to knock the hell out of somebody if they come in the cave.
Right.
They want to be protected. It gives them confidence and security.
Right.
And it's not this isn't a gender thing at all. It's,
no,
I don't want to hang out with a woman who's all cowering on the phone either, at all. I've had some experience in that, and this is better.
This whole thing, yes. Thank you, I got that. That's very good. Not going to name names. No. But this is my last comment. I just thought of something that my dad taught me. My dad was so good at this. He taught me just to act like you know what you're doing. That was like, I grew up with that phrase in my head. So I took it to an unhealthy level. like I would like
point where this is where you're sitting right now in this moment.
I would walk into everything like, I got this. They don't know that I don't know. Watch me. It was really funny. And actually it really helped in many situations in my life.
Wait. I have one more question before you close. Can you take this too far? When does it become cocky?
When it becomes, that's when it's too far if you're cocky. When you're when you're overconfident and you're making mistakes and you're just a jerk, now you've taken it too far. You gotta be, I want you to be confident, but don't alienate people because you walk around telling everybody you're the number one. Please don't do that.
I think the failure starts when you start talking about yourself. And I notice it's a lot. There's people that on the internet for some reason, it's just jam packed with people just talking about themselves.
Yeah, and that's true. Like, it made me think of like when you go out to dinner. We went out to dinner a couple weeks ago with a billionaire. And he didn't talk about himself at all.
He was just laughing at himself. We all were.
Oh, it was hilarious. And you're right. That's confidence too. Yep. He doesn't need to prove anything. You don't need to prove anything. You know what? So the proper confidence level is you feel confident. Who you're working with feels trusting in you. They're confident in you. And you're not taking it over the top and like saying, here's how many deals I'm doing and you're one of many or something like that. That would be would be too far.
And the best way to accomplish that, and he did it, and everybody at that party did it, including us, was just to be yourself and just laugh and just say, want to hear about, you think that's a screw up? I'm going to tell you about my last disaster.
Yep.
Just be who you are.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Happy you could join us today. Monday through Friday, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Managing Communications with Sellers, Brokers, and Buyers. you are not alone in your real estate ambition. What's it called? What week is it? Inspiration Week.
I guess it is. We just decided.
And it's Wednesday.
It's going that way.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. No, yeah, today's Tuesday. Love it. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable, and we really appreciate your support. If you haven't done this already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us create the type of content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest in future shows. It's all about the data here.
We are Steven Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.